Video tutorials by Andrew Buckle. In this tutorial I'm just going to show you how you can create some colourful designs using the rectangular grid tool. And there's the actual rectangular grid tool. You've got line segment tools beneath that and there, rectangular grid tool. Now I'm going to leave that one there because I'm going to use it a little bit later, but I'm just going to show you the approach that I go for to actually get to that point and then continue on from there. So just remove that and just use the rectangular grid and make certain view that smart guides are on. That's the key thing, view and smart guides. And if you go there, rectangular, just press return or double click and you can set the dividers. So horizontal dividers and vertical dividers. So you can see there, just go there, you can actually see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. There's a frame around it as well. Now I'm going to set that is 2 point, that's fine. Right, go with that. Now, you don't have to create just one rectangle, you can actually create multiple. So I'm just going to, again, select that and maybe make that 8 by 12. 8 by 12. And now you can see the reason for the smart guides, you can actually see it just highlights you've actually done that. So I'm just going to drag that there and drag that down there. Go back there again and maybe make it 6 by 9. Click OK, and I'm going to fill that. Now, once you've actually got that, you can now just quickly go over to the live paint bucket. I'm just going to go there and I unfortunately haven't got it now, window and swatches. There's the swatches. Now, what you can do, you can actually scroll through them or just select them and use the paint bucket. But I'm going to go, click that first, and then you can just click on here and then just go down there. But what you can do with the live paint bucket is you can also just scroll through, so you can see the colours change. You can actually just see, now I'm not actually clicking on there, I'm just going through and you can see just by using the left and right scroll. So you can change it and then just go over there. Like that, and you can fill those in and you can fill other ones, you can just go over, and I'm just going to randomly do it, just random colours. And I'm going to go to the other one in a sec that I showed right at the start, just to show a bit further on from just that. So, but you can see the approach I'm using. Just fill those, just scan over at random ways. And if you want to concentrate in certain areas, a certain colour, of course you can. You don't have to. Now, I don't particularly like having the white gaps, but you can just click on them individually if you want. But anyway, you can see the point. You can just create this sort of very, very colourful design like that. And then, once you've actually got that, and I'm just going to go one I created earlier, and this is one of the similar sort of thing. I use exactly the same approach, using the same swatches, went through, and actually it's obviously got you've got the patterns. I don't particularly like having patterns or the gradients in there. They sort of stand out a bit, but each their own. You could have, say, images in there. That's another possibility. You could have like photos and just scan over and create a really interesting. Right, there's a whole load of other things you could do. Now, once you've actually got this design, you can then resize that, and I'm just going to drag that over there and just put that there. Now, one thing to avoid is the gaps between the actual grids. I think that looks a bit awful, but you can rotate it around. You don't have to keep the same. You can also resize it, so drag that out. And you can, of course, once you've actually created 4 or 5 of these grids, you can actually then combine multiple grids together. So you don't have to use the same grid, which sometimes can end up with a sort of uniformity in the design. So it's actually nice just to be able to just do that, hold again, Alt, see what I mean about having a gap. There's a little gap there. And the easiest way, of course, is just to quickly use just zoom in, just make certain you haven't. And it's amazing, every time you do it, you still find there's a gap later. So you really have to check to make certain there isn't. Now, once you've got that, you can actually select all of that. And you can, of course, hold that down, Alt or Option, and again you can see there's always there's a little gap there. So there's a bit of a thing. I've just moved it up just to cover up the gap. Not particularly ideal, but of course, just zoom in, just check that there are no sort of white gaps in. That's gaps, obviously transparent. Now, there's that design. What you can do then, of course, probably the best thing is at that point you can always save it to a library. So you think, right, that's a great design. I'm just going to create that. I'll just drag that over to my library and just store it away. What you can then do, of course, you can rotate it. You don't have to keep it the same. angle. You can then go over here, maybe circle, square, rectangle, and you can just turn it around and just drag that out like that. And then select all, object, clipping mask, make, and then I'm just going to drag that out. That's the endpoint. So I'm just going to drag that out. And there's the actual design. Like I say, straight away, there's a little gap. Very fun. I'm certain I will just go back and just shift something over and correct that before I go any further. But I'm not going to do that now. This is the end of this video. I just noticed it. Now, you've got this design. What you can also do is the colour guide. And you can just click there and just go through and see all the colours like that. And of course you can just change that. If you don't like those colours, you can just go up there and just go through those. And you don't have to stop there. You can, of course, just drag that out. Then Alt, Option again, depending on your system. Just do that and you can see the design. And you can also, of course, over the top. You don't have to keep them side. You can actually just do that. Just rotate that. Select all. And again, go to the mask and just there and select all, object, clipping mask, and there's another very abstract sort of grid design which can be again saved back over into the graphics over there and to the CC libraries. Hope you found this of interest. Please subscribe to the Graphic Extras channel on YouTube and also check out www.graphicextras.com. Always adding lots and lots of tutorials on there, various things every couple of days. Thank you much. Bye.